I'm David Lloyd, and I was a writer in residence at Stiwdio Maelor. I contributed a poem titled Bedtime Stories to Under One Roof, the anthology celebrating Maelor's 10 years of service to the arts in Wales. The poem is about my father, who grew up in Corris, back when the village was almost entirely Welsh-speaking, his home just a short walk from where Stiwdio Maelor is now. He ended up emigrating to the United States, where I was born. The poem is about my father and Corris, but also about me and the awareness by children of immigrants that they are missing some of the stories, some of the history of the family and the culture that was left. So we have to imagine the old stories, write new stories, and not worry too much about what's missing. I'll read Bedtime Stories. In the story called A Search for Coal, my father as a child sits in an empty bucket, legs over the sides, hands on the handle. He makes a wish, closes his eyes, and flies off like Kafka's bucket rider above the streets of Corris. He counts the slate shingles on the roofs of all the houses, buzzes sheep on the bare hillsides, swoops down to a mountain of coal that is his for the taking. This day, the sun hangs in a cloudless sky for 3 extra hours, and no one tells the bucket rider what to do. In the story called Communication, my father is a young boy who can read minds. He walks into the kitchen of his childhood home on a morning when no words have been spoken to tell his mother what it is she really thinks. She bakes a tray of scones, lays them out with clotted cream and blackberry jam on her best china plate, and says in Welsh, "These are all for you." When I begin writing the story called Towin County School, the words get stuck. Loneliness, loneliness, loneliness. But in the story called Newborn, my father takes me from my mother's arms, holds me out in front of him, admires my chubby face and tiny fingers, and throws me with a great heave high into the air so that I rise above the trees, above rooftops, chimneys, antennas, above the highest floor of the hospital, and turn 6 slow somersaults among the birds before floating down to him like a seed from far away. When the writing of all stories is finished, I use scissors to cut out every other word, locking these in a drawer of my desk. The other words I read to my children before bedtime, telling them not to worry about what is missing.